it going, everyone? Mike with This Old Hot Rod. It's Saturday afternoon. It's blistering cold out today, so I fired up the heat. You probably hear that in the background. And started getting to work again, back to work on the T. I removed the windshield frame. As you can see, that's not on the car at the moment. I ended up selling that to a buddy of mine who's building a car for a local girl who wants to race for the Pinetree Jamboree. Kaylee Mac Racing on Instagram. If you don't already follow her, definitely go give her a follow. 14-year-old girl. She drove Pete's 32 Roadster last year at Pinetree Jamboree. I think she made 3 or 4 passes in it, and she got hooked. So she actually was with me on my fall cruise when we had the little get together. So Kaylee McAvoy is her name. Kaylee Mac Racing on Instagram. Like I said, if you don't already follow her, go give her a follow. She's been working on her 27 Roadster with Pete and her dad Jim. So I have the newer windshield frame behind me. So I'm going to get to work on pulling that apart today, getting that set onto the cowl. What I need to do is actually need to remove the glass, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use both portions of the frame. I'm going to use the lower frame and keep that the full height, but then I'm actually going to use a part of the frame on the top frame, windshield frame, and I'm actually going to sandwich the glass together on the 2 pieces, so I can add probably another 3 inches or so. So I'm gonna kind of play with the height today on the windshield frame. So sitting in the car where I'm at, I want to be able to see the road. So probably going to be, probably 5 or 6 inches above the top of the steering wheel. So I'll still have good vision. But I want to try to get it so in the future, if I decide to run a top, I can do that. That was the whole reason for moving the old windshield frame along and picking up this newer one. I want to say thank you to Dan. I'm not sure if Dan watches the show, the channel, but I know Dion over here in Middleborough is a member of the Model T Restorers Club, I believe, of Massachusetts. And his friend Dan was the person who I ended up purchasing it from. So thank you, Dion, for making that connection for me. And I was happy to find a complete frame, windshield, the stanchions, everything complete. I want to try to do some simple project to try to get this T back on track. I'm lacking focus, let's put it that way. So I figured get the windshield put in today, get that figured out, maybe do some simple welding, get that process started, and then kind of just see where things evolve to, see where things go. Let's get to work. First I gotta get out. And I'll get the glass pulled out. You can see the original height. It's just a little bit too tall for my liking. I'll try to do this without breaking the glass. How cool is that, huh? So these wing nuts, they end up being pretty close to one another. It's certainly a lot taller than what was there. Cut these off and then add these somewhere in like
Shut
this.
them.
Yeah, because I want to run a top on this, but it's all, everything's going to be custom. So otherwise, they're this tall.
What's this one?
27.
Huh?
1927.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a 27 body on a 28 to 31 chassis with a 42 motor, 39 transmission. Yeah. 35 wheels. Yeah. Yeah. All right, had my dad stop by, needed some stuff done. Kind of funny how that works. When we were kids, obviously your dad do a lot of things for you when you're a kid because you don't have tools or the knowledge. Now he comes here to have me do stuff, so it's kind of funny. Changing of the guard, I suppose. I want to cut it right about there. It's gonna put me somewhere in the middle. So what I need to do first is I think I need to cut these stanchions first. You know, a lot of figuring out things on the fly. That's how I do stuff. You guys know that at this point. Not trying to cut corners, and I'm sure there's another way to do it, but this is just the way I'm gonna do it and the way my brain works. Actually, this is the passenger side. This is the driver's side. Kind of what's fun about building hot rods, you know, you can just kind of do things the way you want. As long as by the the end of the project it's a safe car, then what does it really matter, you know? If you look at the stanchion, the lower stanchion, you see where I cut it, the thickness of where I cut it. And then if I can, you see this round portion here on the bottom of the stanchion under the wing nut on the top portion. If I can get it close to the same width where it starts to fatten up as this thickness, and then I can kind of just graft, weld, and clean up. If I can graft this here where it starts to fatten up onto this here, that's about where my windshield will be. So it'll be about 3 inches taller than it was before in the side profile. I think that's going to get me where I need to be. So you know what? I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. So what I need to do is I need to make a measurement on the thickness of the top mount on this stanchion. And kind of match it up. Match it up like that. But I think when Joe and I were kind of going over things, I think we kind of figured right around 3 inches higher than where I was at. Because where I was at with the top, it would have like cut me off right on the head, and it just wasn't going to work. So let's get this clamped in the vise and get these stanchions cut down. And then after that, I'll get my windshield frame, the top portion of my windshield frame measured. And I'll get that cut down. Then I'll get that set in place, and then I'll be able to kind of figure out what I need for glass. Maybe send it to the glass guy. The glass guy that's holding my 34 windshield hostage and has been since, I don't know, middle of last summer. He says it's done, but I've yet to see it. One of the many other things that I got done while I was working in the garage, that I told you guys I needed to do this. I got a power strip mounted onto the side of the table. I kind of wish I put it over here, closer to the vise. Kind of wish I put it on this side. I still may switch it out or put another one because it'd be closer to the vise. But I ended up adding a couple of wiring looms for routing like lines and wires and harnesses and stuff on cars, and I mounted the cable on the table leg so it wasn't dragging on the floor because I didn't want it to get it caught underneath the wheel. So things like that make a big difference in the shop. Keep things moving smooth, you know. nice to not have to wrestle with cords now that the table's wired up, you know. Little things like that, like I said, make a big difference. So as you can see, the thickness is obviously a little bit thicker on the bottom than it is on the top. So what I'm going to need to do is, actually, you know what, I don't think I need to do anything, because once I weld it, I think I'll be able to kind of just grind that weld and blend it into the top of the stanchion. I'm gonna get my grinder out and just kind of hit that with a flat bit. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to cut this frame off right at the bottom, I think. Right here. Let me go make another quick. Let me go check real quick. I'm going to cut it right at the bottom of that collar. 'Kinda hard to tell. Kinda hard to tell if it's in direct alignment. It looks pretty close. Definitely taller. Obviously it is. What I need to do next is get this side mounted, obviously welded. $11 and a quarter. All right. I got an even windshield frame now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish weld it now while I have everything set and ready to go. And then I can check this off my list. To the driver's side. Welding helmet sucks. I don't know what's going on, but this thing, like the head strap, like stripped out or something. It's stripped and it won't tighten. It's falling down. Time for a new welding helmet, I guess. Alright, well I'm gonna add a little bit more weld here and there, fill in some of these little low spots. And then once that's done, I'm gonna check that off my list. So when it comes time for glass, I'll slide the piece of, the glass company will slide the piece of glass down in the lower channel and then slide this on top. Nice and straight. Oh wait, I put it on the wrong side. That goes on the driver's side. Figures. Nah, whatever, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna probably end up cutting that thing off anyways. Let's hop in and see what it looks like height-wise. I mean, just doing that, it does give it a lot different of a look. But it still looks like a hot rod. I'm a small guy. These cars are damn small. I'd say that's pretty good. I'm looking right here. So that should be pretty good. And I think that's good. I'm happy with that. Alright guys, well, it was kind of a short video, but I wanted to throw out some content for you guys. And this is a good way for me to kind of get back into the swing of things. Like I said, I'm going to switch that over to the driver's side. I'm just going to probably cut this off because it's pretty well shot as it is. I think what I'm going to do next on next week's video is I'm going to get to work on strengthening up these quarters again. I think that's where I left off before I got COVID and the holidays and all that stuff. So I'm going to get to work on that fabrication, get that structure put in the car. Once the glass is in place, these two halves will be kind of fixed. Because the glass is going to hold this from moving, and the glass, you know, I think that's going to be pretty good. It sucks, I still got a ways to go, you know? I didn't pay that much, thank goodness. Hard to find, see? Everybody uses that term. How's it going, everyone? Monday night, I'm in the garage just going from work, and I have a dilemma. My dilemma is this. I chopped the windshield stanchions the other day, I think yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday. And I'm happy with the height of the windshield. However, there's one thing I'm not happy with, and it's not anything that I did or did wrong. It's something that I noticed after the fact once I put this particular windshield in, which is the correct windshield. I noticed there's a big space beneath the windshield and the top of the cowl. I'm thinking about sectioning the stanchions to lower the windshield and the stanchions, to lower them about 5/8 of an inch. At the same time I do that, I will cut the back side of the stanchion just a little bit more and lean the stanchion back to give it that hot rod racy look. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you guys what I'm talking about, and let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll tell you my thoughts, how I want to do it, and the reasons why. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you have a better option or a better way to do it. Curious to hear your thoughts. Alright, so new windshield's in. I'm happy with it. Hold on, let me move a few things so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That's the windshield frame. You can see where I chopped, where I cut it. I basically just cut a section of this windshield frame out, lowered it, sectioned the top portion of the windshield frame, lowered it down. So now the top and the bottom will trap the glass in place, so the glass will stay fixed and this won't move. Nothing will move. However, this is the issue. I feel like I'm going to be getting a ton of air in there, and I know it's a Roadster, but if I do decide to drive the car when it's maybe just a little bit or getting a little chilly, I don't want air to be flying in there. And I'm sure there's a piece of rubber I could put in there. I know there is because I can feel where it goes. However, the thickness of this file is the thickness of the gap the whole way across. So what I was thinking about doing was, in order to section it and retain the stanchion in the shape of the stanchion here where it comes down, in order to retain that, I can't section it anywhere in here, because if I do, if I take 5/8 of an inch out of the stanchion here, it's going to lower the top down, the windshield's going to lower, and then the windshield's going to interfere with this portion of the stanchion on the bottom. So if I remove the metal below the below the windshield frame, the stanchion and the windshield frame will move as one. Therefore, the radius here will stay the same. That's not going to change. All I'll do is remove material from underneath it. If I roughly remove the thickness, the width of this file, roughly, on the front, cut it here, cut it all the way across to my top line, and then change, actually it'll be cutting it all the way on the bottom. I'm gonna drop it down this much on the front, and on the back, I want to determine how much of a lean I'm gonna have. I'd like to have it leaning probably something like that. So I guess the best way to do that would be to remove the metal on the back first, cut it, get my lean, figure out what lean I want, measure the distance between the two pieces on the back, and then that's how I need to adjust the front. But I need to lower it at the same time. I'm not just leaning it back. You can see that goes under there. So I'm trying to accomplish two things at the same time. Now, as far as looks goes, it's not going to change a whole lot the way it looks. You know, I mean, a little over 1/2 inch as far as height goes. It'll basically be the thickness of the frame that I'm going to lower it. I think I'm going to gain more by lowering it that little bit. See, I just don't like the gap. And if I'm building a hot rod, I might as well build it how I want it, pleasing to my eye, you know? So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna section it here. I'm just gonna figure out how I'm gonna do it on the back. But what do you guys think? You think that's gonna look better? Lowered down, kind of right on top of the cowl, and then I won't need to run any type of welting or rubber strip or anything, or maybe I could just put a real small rubber strip under there. What do you guys think? Think it's worth the effort? I think it is. I think it's going to bother me if I don't do it. And at this point, what's one more cut? I already cut the stanchions. I already ruined a perfectly good windshield and windshield frame and stanchions. So I think I'm going to just jump right in onto that and get this underway. Somebody came in my garage this afternoon, turned the lights on, and when you flip the lights on, the furnace kicks on. They left the lights on, left my furnace running, and now my propane bottle is, I don't know, it's pretty far down there. The heat's not blowing super cold. I mean, it's not blowing super warm at this point. As soon as the bottle gets low, the pressure gets low, and then the temperature of the air that comes out of the furnace gets low too. So just gonna have to have a talk with someone in my household. Not sure who yet, but I wasn't too happy when I came home and saw the lights on in the building. I knew it right away. So note to self, I'll have to shut the furnace off separately from now on if someone's gonna come down to my garage. I kind of answered my own question, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. That's what I'm gonna do. Would you have done it any different to try to attain the look that I'm going for if you were to do the same? Let me know. So I'm unbolting the stanchions, or the windshields again. Get the torpedo heater going, because it's the only, that little torpedo heater will run that bottle right down to nothing, whereas my furnace won't. So for the time being, I'm gonna use that. Sorry, it's gonna be a little loud, but it's like 18 degrees outside. If I don't use that, I'll be in the house. So I want to try to. I want to stay out here for at least an hour or so where I can get this stanchion cut down. Let's go for a walk. Okay. Oh, need to save this template. That's for my B-pillar foot. Okay. So I'm gonna actually just go back to redo. I'm gonna redo these lines. The reason why, I actually want to make some measurements and make sure I cut them at the exact same place. Because by the looks of it right now, they're not almost in the same place, but not quite. Good with the marks now, at least on the front. As long as I'm careful, hopefully I can cut straight through. I could not cut it anywhere on the side of the windshield frame. I had to cut it below it. So that was the reason why I wanted to do that. I was having a problem, obviously you saw it. The other one, it was moving. Need to have it off the table far enough. I'll just clamp them all together. All right. So this is the driver's. I'll mark it up here. Drivers. All right, let me grab a flap disc, get these areas cleaned up, and then I'll get them set back on the car. But like I said, what I want to do is I want to lean the windshield back. So that means I'm either going to have to cut the stanchion, or I'll cut the portion that's still connected to the windshield, or I'll cut this. Alright, so let's put this on. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to make some other adjustments. Kinda wish I didn't cut the metal all the way off. Feel like it's too low now. It is. Alright guys, well, this is how you learn. What I shouldn't have done was to cut this entire piece out. What I should have done was basically just cut a wedge out of the back and bent the stanchions backwards. I think I would have ended up with the same result, but now I've just created more work myself. I got to clean these pieces up. I'm gonna cut a wedge out of these ones, each of these pieces now, get them cleaned up, and then get everything tacked back in place. So I got to weld them back together. It's not the end of the world. I'm glad I took my time with my measurements at least, because it should go back together pretty easily. It's just going to be a little bit of welding work. But you know what? No one's taught me how to do this. I don't have any old hot rodders in my life to tell me to do this or do that. So you got to learn somehow, right? Learn by doing. Learn by making mistakes. Let's go see where we're at. 74.0. I just recut the weld on the top of the stanchion because I didn't like it. It wasn't far back enough. 73.3 right there. I knew it wasn't back far enough. Now the trick is going to be to hold it and weld it at the same time. So I got a little bit of wiggle room, but it's roughly the same as on the driver's side. It's about as close as I'm gonna get it. Look at that! My propane's about out. Take this bottle up a little bit. That helped. So I don't have much time left because my heat's gonna be gone. But I got this cut tacked. I'm kind of thinking about dropping it down, maybe just cutting another sliver out of this, but maybe I'm just better off leaving it. I think I am. Just leaning the windshield frame and the stanchions back gives the car a completely different look, and to be honest, I'm a lot happier with it, with that look right there. Said it's not a lot, but it's just enough to kind of give it little bit of a racy look. I don't want to lose much vertical because like I said before, I still want to run a top. So oh, my propane's out. Well, looks like that's it for me for the night. Tomorrow I'll grab a bottle of propane and I need to get my welder bottle filled up and my oxy and acetylene so I could heat and bend and get to work on my headlight, my new headlight bar. I know I post up on Facebook and Instagram about this lens. See if anybody has one. I'm holding out hope that someone does. If not, it's fine. I have other headlights I can run. I got I got two sets of headlights in there, in that box. I have the other set of headlights that I took off the car in that box that are gonna go in storage. I have that set of headlights there. I have a single headlight there and another single here. So, and those headlights up there. So I mean, I got plenty of headlights I can run. I just, you know, just kind of mixing things up. It's nice to be able to do that when you get the parts, you know. So what do you guys think? Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. That made a big difference. I do want to drop it down some, but no matter what, I'm going to end up with some gaps underneath. So I'll end up with a wider gap on the ends than I will in the middle. And I think that's what my issue was. I could really only cut it down about 1/8 of an inch. And I may still do it. But for now, I'm going to leave it. Alright, everyone. That's a wrap for me on the windshield. I'll get that finished welded tomorrow. Probably won't videotape it. If I get the headlight bar done, I can pop that off. I can get that painted. You know, the list. Thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate you guys following along. And we'll see you guys soon. See you on the next video. Hopefully, like I said in the earlier video, I can keep this ball rolling again. Wintertime coming into springtime. I'm really busy with work, so maybe for now, just one video a week. Maybe Wednesday or maybe Saturday. I'm not sure. We'll see what my schedule allows. So if I have time to film on the weekend, edit during the week, and then put out a video on Saturday morning, that would probably be the best thing for me, I think, at this point, because I don't have my son's help anymore, and that was a big contributing factor to having the time to videotape and edit during the week. I got some metal pipe from my buddy Pete. This is pretty thin. So for now, I wanna mock up a roll bar. I'm gonna use this as mock up, and then in the future, when it comes time to actually have a real roll bar, I will have one bent, thicker material. I'm thinking that's gonna go somewhere here, but we'll see. I want to be able to remove it also, so when I have a top, I have the option. All right, everyone, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Chopping and leaning back the Model T Roadster windshield stanchions. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Hopefully you guys like where the T is headed. I'm happy to be back working on the T, and maybe the weather's gonna break at least a little bit that I can get some painting done on the frame. Still toying still toying back and forth whether or not to sandblast the frame. I may do that. It'll be nice to have a nice finished sandblasted frame. And then for now, leave the body the way it is. I don't know. You know, as everything in life, things evolve. You don't always know. You don't always know where you're gonna end up, but you gotta just enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride. And that's what I'm doing. So I hope you guys are also enjoying the ride. Thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, if you like what I'm doing, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let you guys know when I put up a video. See you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.